this is my review of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Okay, so in this episode, we're properly introduced to Keicho Nijimura, Okuyasu Nijimura's older brother. So, unlike Okuyasu, who is pretty much a dumbass, Keicho is very, he's very methodical, very straightforward thinking. He's a lot smarter than his brother. So it's basically they're foil one another. Whereas Keicho is a bit more methodical in how he approaches his tactics. Okuyasu is a bit dumber, and he's pretty blunt and straightforward. So in any case, Keicho and Josuke begin to face off because Keicho has dragged Koichi into the house and is proceeding to remove the stand arrow from Koichi's neck. So, and naturally Josuke is very adamant on that not happening, because if that happens, then Koichi is going to bleed out a lot faster. So, and he tries to stop him. However, their confrontation is immediately interrupted by Okuyasu, who since recovers from being hit in the face with the flower pots and barges inside to continue his fight with Josuke, and is immediately attacked by Keicho's stand, Bad Company, because he was in the way. We don't actually see Bad Company at this point. We see it a lot later, but it is an interesting stand. I'll get to it in a minute. But in case Keicho remarks on how stupid Okuyasu was, because had he just accepted defeat and just stayed outside, he probably wouldn't have gotten hurt by Bad Company, which, yeah, but also he kind of just got shot anyway. And sure enough, Keicho then begins training his stand on Josuke, who uses Crazy Diamond to drag him and Okuyasu out of the house. And repairing the wall behind them, which basically shields them from Bad Company's attacks. However, Keicho expects that Josuke will be back, since he's most likely not going to leave his friend behind, and drags Koichi up to the top floor of the house. At which point Josuke and Okuyasu have a bit of a back and forth confrontation. So Josuke needs information about Bad Company and how it works, but Okuyasu is very adamant about not actually giving him information, because he's not going to betray his brother, obviously. And Josuke expected this outcome and threatened to not heal him if he didn't give him this information, but because Josuke is a good guy, he does it anyway. And sure enough, Okuyasu is a little concerned about why Josuke decided to save him in the first place, at which point Josuke remarks that he didn't really have a reason. He just felt that there was no reason that Okuyasu needed to die, and decided to save his life because he can. And sure enough, goes into the house to continue his search for Koichi. But Okuyasu isn't really done with him yet, and barges into the house after him and asks him why he didn't heal his wounds. At which point, he reveals that his stand can't heal his own wounds, and also can't bring back the dead, because that's not how his stand works. And that's enough to satisfy Okuyasu. And with that, Josuke eventually finds Koichi passed out in the room upstairs, and quickly realizes it's a trap, because he's most likely going to get attacked by Bad Company again if he tries to get close enough. But fortunately, he doesn't have to, because Okuyasu decides to repay his debt by bringing Koichi close enough for Josuke to heal him. Although Josuke doesn't initially believe that's what's happening. And he initially believes that Okuyasu is trying to get a sneak attack from behind, but it's eventually revealed that no, Okuyasu's technically a good guy now. So, and sure enough, after saving Koichi, Okuyasu remarks that he was just repaying a debt, nothing more, and he's not going to cause any more trouble for Josuke or anybody else. He's just going to go off on his own and do basically nothing. And sure enough, he does exactly that. He just walks out of the house as he and Keicho are fighting. But in case, after healing Koichi, he catches him up to speed on what went on, and Josuke and Koichi are eventually confronted by Bad Company, which Josuke sees monkeying around on the rafters. So Josuke pulls out Crazy Diamond, since he believes that Bad Company is only one unit, he sees this little thing, assumes that's the stand, and goes to attack it, but is then thrown for a loop when the stand actually reveals itself to be a colony stand composed of a miniature army. So, yeah, this is our first colony stand that we're seeing. So, the way colony stand... I should explain this. The way colony stands work is that they're technically one stand, but they're one stand split across multiple units. So while they're technically one stand, they're basically one stand composed of a bunch of mini stands, but they all share one consciousness. So basically they're all connected, and you would need to destroy them all to actually defeat the stand user, which Josuke quickly figures out when he tries to fight Bad Company directly, and it doesn't go very well. At which point he pulls Koichi into a nearby room and tries to go out the window, but then it's revealed that Bad Company is also complete with miniature assault planes and tanks, which Koichi warns Josuke about. And Josuke thanks him for the save, but then his brain actually processes what Koichi actually said and realizes that because that Koichi is actually a stand user now. At which point Keicho actually reveals himself and points out that Koichi may in fact be the stand user he's looking for, because he's looking for a power to do something. It's not revealed yet what it is. But he also remarks that he's going to kill Josuke regardless, but he remarks that if Koichi winds up being useful to him, he won't kill him. Sure enough, Koichi, who's completely new to this, has no idea what's going on, or he doesn't know how to summon a stand. He doesn't know what a stand even is. He's completely new to this. He's been thrown into basically the deep end of a pool and he can't swim, metaphorically speaking. He's thrown into a new world that he doesn't fully understand, and he has to in about 5 seconds or he's going to die. So sure enough, oddly enough, Josuke and Keicho actually decide to work together to actually bring out Koichi's stand, and with Josuke providing the explanation and Keicho's stand providing a motivator to actually summon the stand by using Bad Company to attack Koichi's neck. At which point Koichi summons a stand, which doesn't do anything. It's just an egg. It's literally just an egg with a unique pattern on it, but it's a stand. It's technically a stand, but it doesn't. But Koichi reveals that that's basically all it does. However, as soon as he says that, the egg starts hatching, and Keicho reveals that he's seen enough and orders his stand to attack Josuke. Josuke obviously gets Koichi out of there by basically drop kicking his stand, which, since it's an egg, means that it does no damage to Koichi. And sure enough, Koichi is thrown free, and his stand retreats back inside of him. So, and sure enough, Josuke immediately goes through the wall and is sent through the wall by Bad Company. So Josuke realizes how methodical Keicho is, and realizes that he needs a solid plan. And which point Keicho reveals exactly what's going to happen to Josuke. He's going to blow up his leg. He's going to disable his leg so that he can't stand up and defend himself. Then he's going to disable his arm so he can't protect himself, and then he's going to blow his head clean off. And more or less, that's exactly what happened. There is an instance where Koichi tries to defend Josuke by attacking Keicho while his back is turned, but it doesn't end well because Koichi still hasn't gotten the hang of summoning his stand, and Keicho just kind of flicks him away because he reveals that he's not going to kill Koichi just yet because he's interested, because as he points out, Koichi doesn't exactly know what his stand is yet, and doesn't really fully understand the ramifications of his stand being an egg and hatching. Apparently Koichi's stand is special, and we don't actually get to see what it does yet, but according to Keicho, it is apparently a very important stand, and that we should definitely keep an eye on it. And sure enough, Josuke tries to defend himself against Bad Company by repelling all of Bad Company's bullets from its firearms to basically close the gap between him and Keicho and finally take Keicho down. However, Keicho planned for this, planting a landmine at Josuke's feet, which he eventually steps on, injuring his legs. Then he takes two missiles to his arms, which injures his arms, and finally Keicho moves in to blow Josuke's head off. However, instead of going down, Josuke actually sits up and reveals that his plan is actually going to complete. See, what Keicho actually forgot is that his crazy diamond actually heals whatever hits him. So basically, So basically what happened was the missiles that shot Crazy Diamond in the arm were actually repaired, and basically what happens is that the missiles go right into Keicho's face, and Keicho is defeated by his own stand. That's basically what happens. So yeah, and that's how the episode ends. There's lore implications for this. First of all, this is our first time seeing a colony stand in the series. Colony stands are a bit unique in how they work, so I'm interested to see how more of them are introduced in the story over time. And also, Okuyasu Nijimura might be a recurring ally-ish now. He says that there's the possibility that he says that he's really not going to be involved all that much, but considering that Okuyasu is featured prominently in the OP, I'm assuming he is going to come back as like a major supporting character or something. I'm assuming. And also, Koichi has developed a stand. So it doesn't do anything yet, but he has developed a stand. Which begs, and sure enough, as has been previously established in the last episode, Koichi didn't previously have the aptitude to wield a stand. So the implication here is that because Crazy Diamond healed Koichi, he was able to survive being fatally wounded by the stand arrow, which enabled Koichi to actually develop a stand. Which means that if somebody doesn't have the aptitude to develop a stand and they start to die but are healed before they actually die, then they develop a stand, which is interesting. Which is an interesting concept. So stand users can be created with the bow and arrow. That's been established, but also, if somebody doesn't have the aptitude and they survive being fatally wounded, they will develop the stand anyway, albeit at a weaker state and unable to be controlled as of yet. But sure enough, Koichi has developed the stand even though he didn't have the aptitude for it. So it begs the question: are they going to bring this concept back for future episodes? That's going to be interesting. But yeah, the important thing to take away from here is that Keicho Nijimura has been defeated. Okuyasu Nijimura is technically a good guy now, and Koichi has a stand that technically doesn't do anything, but it's implied that it is going to be important later. So we're going to eventually see what Koichi's stand is. But in any case, yeah, that's my review of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. What did you guys think? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below, or over on my Discord server, link in the description. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter in the description below. And also, check out my Patreon in the description below as well. It's only a couple bucks a month. It really helps me out, and you guys get access to a bunch of cool perks. So I'm always saying thanks. So be sure to check this out in the description below as well. But in any case, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!